how I am preparing for perimenopause. And honestly, I can't believe I just said that because I feel like it was just yesterday that I was 25 years old, but somehow right now I am in my house, in my closet, hiding from my son who's 12 years old and fake sick from school today and is running around like the Tasmanian devil. And I am making a video about all the systems I'm putting in place for perimenopause. And I guess that sometimes life just sneaks up on you. But you know what? I am so happy to make this video because number one, it means that I have lived long enough to hit perimenopause or to be approaching it. And there's so many women that didn't. So my mindset is one of gratitude, and that's how I'm looking at this next phase in my life. And this might be one of those videos where you want to pause it right now and just grab a pen and paper. I might say a few things that perhaps inspire you or just ideas, things you want to jot down. So if you need to pause it, I will be here. Hi, my name is Lauren O'Connell, and I'm the beauty editor at Cosmopolitan Middle East magazine. I have been living in Dubai for the last 15 years. I'm originally from Milford, Connecticut, USA, and I love to talk about all things related to skincare, beauty, and spirituality. So for this video, if you have any tips, any tricks, anything I didn't mention that you just want to share or any thoughts you have, just by all means, put them in the comments below and let's create just a supportive community for women where we have each other's backs and we can talk about this stuff and try to help one another, because why not? There's just enough hate and negativity out there. Let's make this just a positive place. So perimenopause, well, first of all, hormones. Let's talk about hormones. They are chemical messengers and they coordinate different functions within the body. Estrogen and progesterone are coordinating and they're in charge of our periods, I would say. And what happens is they really start to decline the amount of estrogen and progesterone we have in our systems, and that's when perimenopause hits. Now, I'm 40 years old, and usually this happens between the ages of 40 to 44. I have a bunch of girlfriends that are in their mid 40s, and some of them are in perimenopause. Some of them are going to full-blown menopause. And they have taught me a lot. They've told me a lot. And that combined with all of my conversations with my doctor and just my own personal research, I've created different sort of systems in my life that I am now working into, that I've kind of implemented and are part of my daily routine, that I'm hoping will make my transition into perimenopause as easy as possible. As of the last time I had my blood work done, which was in late spring, early summer, I'm not in perimenopause yet. So if you are in perimenopause, some signs of that are hot flushes, mood swings, night sweats, weight gain, decreased sex drive, bone loss, brittle nails, hair loss, anxiety, depression, forgetfulness, and sleeping problems. It sounds ridiculous, but you know what? Like I said before, there's women that never got the chance to even approach perimenopause. So we're grateful that we're here. So one of the things that I've noticed in the past few years of my life, I'm 5'8", and I've always weighed around 145, 140, between like 142 to 145 pounds. Over the last 3 years, my weight went all the way up to 175 pounds. And I was so shocked. You know, weight gain doesn't happen. You don't wake up one morning, you just gain 10 pounds overnight from the last time you stepped on the scale. It happens in the tiniest little increments and it just sneaks up on you. And I was really shocked when I saw that was my weight. I actually looked at the scale when I stepped on it and I laughed because I thought to myself, how is this possible? 30 pounds over my normal weight that I've been my entire life. And it's not that I didn't like my body at that weight, but what I was concerned about is if those 30 pounds came on really easily, does that mean another 30 pounds is gonna come on easily? And now I'm looking at being 60 pounds over what my base has always been. So what I did was I stopped eating like I was 20 years old. And I always had I exercised a lot, but I had a good metabolism and I, just constantly ate like the way I did when I was in my 20s. And so I stopped doing that. I started eating less. I started counting calories. I started eating whole foods. And I also made sure that I was exercising 5 times a week. And that's not easy, but at the same time, right now, I have lost 21 of those pounds. So I have 9 more to go, and I am just ready to get back there. So one of the things I would say is if you notice your weight slipping, or right now you're not at the weight you feel you should be at, you need to correct it, because from everything I've heard, it gets a lot harder once you get into that perimenopause, that menopause phase. And this isn't about looking a certain way or looking a certain way for the male gaze. This is solely about just your personal health. And for me, losing that weight so far has been great, and I feel a lot better. You know, I literally picked up the salads and I ditched the French fries, and it has made such a difference in my life. And I make sure to not only eat the whole grains, whole grains, but also the fruits and vegetables. But I also make sure that I'm getting enough calcium in my diet. I don't like to eat much dairy, and I am a vegetarian. So for me, almond milk, almond yogurt parfaits are big for me. They have lots of calcium in them, and so do the dark green veggies. With that being said, I still eat chocolate every day. I love chocolate, and I feel like if I can't have my chocolate, life just isn't worth living. So chocolate is my vice, but I am trying to really be more mindful about what I'm eating and how much I'm eating. I also, for a while I was having protein shakes, but I stopped drinking protein shakes because I developed tartar on my teeth. And I went to the dentist and I said to her, I don't know why I have this tartar. This isn't something I ever have. And she said to me, have you changed your diet lately? And I said, well, not in a way that would create tartar, I don't think. I said, I've been eating healthier. And she said, okay. And she's like, usually when people start drinking protein shakes and I said, whoa, I have been drinking protein shakes. And she said that the protein shakes change your saliva. She said the composition of your saliva, and it can cause tartar. So just on the side, I have that written down. It's not really related to perimenopause, but when I was writing my notes for this video, I felt like that was important. So I have gotten rid of the protein shakes. I don't drink any coffee. Now, coffee can up your cortisol levels. That's the stress. And I've stopped drinking coffee about 1 year and 2 months ago. It wasn't easy. I was a total cappuccino girl, but caffeine isn't great for our bodies. You'll find some studies that say it's fine, and then everything in moderation. I'm not telling you to stop drinking coffee, but I did stop drinking coffee, and I also stopped drinking alcohol. Now, the last time I had a drink was last November, and I'm making this video in September. So it's been 10 months. And part of that also was I have just gone on this very big journey into self. I kind of just took a real good look at my life a few years ago and said to myself, there's things I'm doing in my life that just aren't working for me anymore. And I started meditating more. I became more just connected to myself. I was always connected to everything else, and I didn't know myself at all. Maybe that resonates with you, maybe it doesn't. But when I started meditating and going down more this spiritual path, my body actually rejected that alcohol, and I couldn't bring myself to drink it anymore. And I was always such a Sauvignon Blanc girl, and also my body rejected the caffeine. So that's why I got rid of those two, which also happened to be really great for prepping my body for perimenopause. I do miss the social aspect of alcohol, which is really funny that we have that to begin with. And actually, I said to one of my girlfriends the other day, I'm going to this beauty event in a couple days or next week. I can't remember when. My schedule is insane. But I said to her, I think I might have a glass of wine with you. And she messaged me back right away. She's like, is everything okay? And I said, yeah, I just feel like I just want to see what it's like again. But at the same time, I can't visualize myself actually picking up the glass and drinking it. So we'll see what happens. I never had a problem with alcohol by any means. Alcohol was never a big deal to me, but my body did just say, enough with the alcohol. And the thing is, I listen to my body now. So we'll see what happens with that. But mostly I do not do any alcohol or caffeine. For supplements, I take vitamin B and vitamin D, and these ones are good to help to reduce fatigue. So if you're feeling fatigued, you might want to, of course, talk to your doctor first, but vitamin B and vitamin D should definitely be in your body. I do like to drink lemon water as well, just to help flush out toxins, and that's pretty much it so far with the diet. Now, exercise. I get really lazy if I try to exercise by myself in my house. You know, sometimes I'll go on YouTube and I'll do some of the YouTube videos, or I'll go to the gym and just do some cardio for 30 minutes. But my real workouts come when I go to the gym and I take classes, because it pushes me. So what I did was I joined a gym that's pretty close by, and I try to go 5 times a week. And in those workout classes, I'll do anything from reformer Pilates to a HIIT class, which is high intensity intervals, something like that. It's basically weightlifting and then some cardio. And I also do spinning classes. I love spinning classes. And during spinning, there is arm workouts and there's like some core stuff going on. But you are supposed to work out. So if exercise is one of those things you hate, my suggestion is you have to find something you love. Every woman I know that's in menopause and thriving has said that exercise, strength training is key. So you need to start it like yesterday. And I'm by no means perfect. There's weeks where I, really slack, and then there's weeks where I do well. I'm a phases person. I go through phases, and I have kids. I have a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old. They get sick, they get me sick, life happens. But the best thing you can do is honestly to try your best, and you got to get something going to really help ease your body into that perimenopause. As far as beauty goes, I, of course, have my skincare routine, which I think I'm known for at this point on Instagram and YouTube. You can see my videos for my 40-year-old AM and PM skincare routine. There's ingredients that you really just want to start implementing into your skincare routine, like vitamin C, vitamin A, which is retinol. Vitamin C is going to brighten the skin. It's going to reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. It's going to really even out your skin tone. Retinol is going to boost up your collagen and elastin production. It's going to help to, once again, smooth out those wrinkles, to really plump up skin. Having plumped up skin, a lot of women say, oh, you just wait till you hit menopause and perimenopause. But the thing is, instead of me just saying, leaving a nasty comment like that on someone's, I'm trying to show you what I'm doing to do. What am I even saying? People leave me nasty comments and they just say, you just wait till you hit menopause. And I say, well, you know what? I'm doing everything I can right now. And if you have any suggestions, by all means, let me know. But, I think some people are just very unhappy on the internet. But anyways, I use the right ingredients. Peptides really firm the skin. What else do I use? Lactic acid for great chemical exfoliation to unglue those dead skin cells and let the fresh skin underneath. And lactic acid also boosts the production of ceramides in the skin, which are going to strengthen the skin's barrier. I use red light therapy, and I have shown the devices that I use quite a bit, but every night I put the red light on my face, my neck, and my chest, and it really helps to boost up that collagen. It goes pretty deep into the skin. It's not damaging. This is LED light, not UV light. UV is the one that can really age us and burn us and cause cancer. LED lights are going to really stimulate, bring oxygen to the cells and to really get everything going, and it makes the skin a lot thicker. And this is technology that wasn't necessarily available to the mainstream that long ago, but now that we have it available to us, I think it's great for us to use it, and to use it, especially with the intention of making ourselves as healthy and as fit as possible going into those perimenopause years. Why not? I have noticed that I'm having some hair thinning, so I started using Regain, which is like a Rogaine, but it's for women. Just on the temples, I use it every morning and evening. I just spray a little bit into the temples and rub it in, and that's just to help combat that hair loss. What else? Oh, I also like to do scalp massages when I'm in the shower, just to stimulate my scalp, to get that oxygen flowing for hair growth, because I mean, hair loss is one of the symptoms of perimenopause. And I also like to get lasers done. I don't get them very often, but once or twice a year, I'll do a laser treatment. I had Soft Wave in the end of June, and it really lifts and it tightens the skin. I've had Morpheus 8 twice, and I also had Picogenesis not too long ago for a sunspot that came out on my cheeks. So skincare gets me 90% of the way there to how I want my skin to look. And the other 10% is left for Botox. I have a little bit of Botox. I have 10 units on each side of my eyes, and I have 15 units in the middle. I don't have any Botox on my forehead. I just naturally don't move my eyebrows when I talk. My mom is the same way. I don't know what's wrong with us, but it's paid off. And I also, if you want to use fillers, by all means, I don't have any fillers, but lasers and red light therapy are part of that 10% for me. And so it's really just great for, giving it's like that final touch. It's the icing on the cake in terms of my skincare program. Now, moving on to wellness, the first thing I would say is there's a lot of information online, and even what I'm telling you today, really research it for yourself and use discernment. If something doesn't sound quite right, it's probably not. Trust your intuition, your instincts, and just be discerning with all the information you come across. Even with things your doctor tells you, if something doesn't sound quite right, get a second opinion, or sometimes even a third opinion. Meditation and journaling. So meditation is something I got into a few years ago, and I'm not one of those people that can just, meditate for 30 minutes. I don't even have 30 minutes to meditate, but I can do 5 to 10 minutes. And the more I do it, just the more I look forward to it. And it just, it's, of course, on days where my son is faking sick, it's difficult, but on days where I can just have that 5 minutes to myself, sometimes it's even in the shower, and I will literally sit in my shower just to do it. Just having that time to zone out is incredible. And when you do it, just try to focus on this area in the middle of your forehead. If you start to see an indigo bluish color, you are on the right path. So keep doing it till you see that bluish indigo color. That is your third eye chakra, and it's starting to be activated. And it's great for your intuition. Also, sex. I mean, if you feel like your sex drive is going down, try to actually combat that by having more sex. I really hope my dad's not watching this video, but if he is, you know what? It is what it is. And also, I mean, you can always go into self-pleasure, but you want to try to keep yourself as activated as possible. And I feel like the more you do it, the more you'll want it, and you won't feel like it's just dwindling away, because that's a really kind of a depressing feeling to have. So just try to make the effort to get some sex. And I also put down for wellness, I would call myself an introverted extrovert. I'm very much an extrovert. I'm always out. I'm going to beauty events. It's the nature of my job, and I'm a chatty person. I like to socialize, but I also really need my alone time. And my alone time means me alone in my bedroom, no one bothering me. And so for me, it's having that balance, getting that system in place, that balance in place is where I feel like I'm really thriving. And then I can do things like the meditation, like organizing meals, like, organizing my workouts for the week. And these are all things that I need to really get myself prepped for that perimenopause. So having that time and really having that balance and being non-negotiable about it is so important. And one thing that I am a big believer in nowadays is boundaries. I used to be really poor with my boundaries, and I think that's because, especially being born in the 80s, growing up, the status quo was, as a female, you make concessions all the time, and you inconvenience yourself for others. You might be told to inconvenience yourself, and we don't really learn a good, healthy set of boundaries. And, you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. You want to be nice. You want all this stuff. And I felt my throat chakra open. Actually, it just opened some more recently. I have been coughing for the last 4 weeks. It's really dwindling now, but I was pretty sick for a while, and I was told that it was actually a symptom of my throat chakra opening, which is a great thing to have, that's be able to speak your truth. But on a 3D human level, it's causing me to cough a lot. Someone I know who said she went through the same thing. She lost her voice for 3 weeks. So something I'm doing is I'm really just being very self-advocating now, and that time to myself is non-negotiable. I have to have it, otherwise I cannot function. And if I'm not taking care of myself the way I need to be taken care of, I cannot take care of anyone else. I cannot do my job properly. I cannot do anything. So it's that self-time, that time to self. And also, it's important to cut cords and cut your losses. I think that there's so much more out there about how the mind is connected to the body, and it's just so much more than we're ever told or we're ever led to believe. But if you have toxic people in your life, if you have these sort of energy sucking vampires, if you're out with friends and afterwards you feel completely drained, if you see a text from someone and you think to yourself, oh gosh, now I have to answer them, these are people that you shouldn't have in your life. And that's not necessarily always an easy thing to deal with, especially, it's different if it's a family member, then you have to kind of work around that. But when it comes to friendships, at this point in life, for me at 40 years old, I just cannot be a charity friend anymore. And I've done that for a long time, where people have wanted to be my friends and I've been like, oh, I don't really feel a connection or whatever. They're kind of weird, or I'm seeing some red flags, but just to be nice, I'm doing it anyways. And, before I know it, I feel like they have their talons in me, and then I have to really just cut it off. And I recently went through that, and I just, realized that if someone's constantly taking advantage of you and trying to take what she can out of you, that's not a healthy friendship. And when you don't want to answer someone's DMs or their phone calls or their text messages, that's your body saying to you, I am repelling this person, get this person out of your life. So you can cut cords, or you can cut people off, or, you don't have to do it in such a drastic way, but you can let friendships go. And it's always important to cut your cords at the end of the night. And one thing I do every night is I close my eyes and I just think to myself that I cut cords with everyone I've interacted with today. And I look at a pair of scissors and I visualize different, almost like they look kind of like a rope. And I just cut through it all. And I send their energy back to them with love, because it's not mine. And I call all my energy back to me. So people can't hold on to parts of me. And I call all my energy back to me. And I always say in all time and space dimensions. And I give all of their energy back to them with ease, grace, and joy. And if you start doing that, I promise you, you're gonna feel a shift in your energy, because it really works. So sleeping, okay, sleeping is another one, and I love my sleep. I need my sleep. I do not have time to miss out on my sleep. So one thing I do is I sleep with my room really cold, and I leave it at 23 degrees Celsius. I also have a fan going. My husband calls it my hyperbaric chamber. But the fan is just that noise cancellation, and it gets the air flowing around the room. And with the room nice and cold, I can sleep properly. And also, I know a lot of women, they like to sleep with a weighted blanket. I haven't done that yet, but I'm totally interested in getting one, so I probably will at some point. And also, it's good to be on a sleep schedule. So if you program your body, for example, if you go to bed every night at 10 o'clock, 10:30, or you get into bed at 9:30 and you're gonna, give yourself X amount of time before lights out, you get yourself into the system and your body will get used to it, and your body will adapt to it, and that's going to help you also with the perimenopause. I try not to do screens when I am at least 30 minutes before lights out, and what I do instead is I read. I love reading books. I just read, what's it called? The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. If you haven't read that one yet, I recommend it. It is phenomenal. And I'm just a big reader, and for me it's just that 30 minutes of my quiet time, my reading time, and it really just sends a message to my body too that it's time to start preparing for sleep. And lastly is the doctor's appointments. I'm going to be getting my first mammogram this month. And also I get a pap smear every 3-ish years. I told my mom I would get a colonoscopy next summer. She's big on colonoscopies. One of my grandfathers died of colon cancer. And then I just do wellness exams. So I go and I see my doctor. I get my blood drawn, check out my vitamins, make sure everything in my blood is where it should be, and things that aren't, then she helps me to correct it. So that's everything I'm doing right now to prepare for perimenopause. I hope this was helpful. If you have any suggestions or anything you do, anything I didn't mention, by all means, share it down below. And why not watch my video right now on my evening skincare routine? It's right here.